Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
All rounds down and another my apologies, 8 rounds to go, ladies and gentlemen, the RSRA Super 2 E-Series. Welcome back to Monday Night Motorsport for round 5, where we come to you live from Lakeville, Connecticut, in the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, for a fantastic Super Sprint round that we have in store for you this evening. Matt Davis and Daniel Lee bringing you all the actions tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the 24 and 42 lap race. That's right, 2 races for the price of 1 admission tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so better buckle up, grab a cold beer and some popcorn, because this one's going to be an absolute cracker as we get underway in qualifying, or just finishing up in qualifying, should I say. And Daniel, mate, a big warm welcome to you. Don't have the usual Dino on the other end for me tonight, mate, but you've decided to step in and relieve him of a few duties. So big warm welcome to you, and welcome to the Super 2 E-Series.
Yeah, g'day, mate. Great to be here. A bit different this week, being on the other side of the camera as opposed to being out there with the boys having a run, generally in Super 2. But look, it's going to be an interesting one tonight. You know, Lime Rock, not a lot of the guys probably been here since, let's say, rookie series at least anyway, when we all started in iRacing back in the MX5 days. So to throw the supercar around here tonight is going to be very, very interesting.
Well, sub 1 minute laps made, and 51.7 so far to Sebastian Bundell, and he's gone almost a complete second quicker than the entire field so far, ladies and gentlemen. So he's going to be the one to watch out for tonight. On my apologies, sorry, he's 1/10 of a second quicker. I'm looking at the last lap times that they've done. That was his quicker, but let's get into the nitty-gritty business, ladies and gentlemen, and bring up the track map to find out what's going on, as we've got 8 minutes and almost 15 seconds to go left in qualifying, and we'll try and get this pre-race show up and going nice and quickly. United States of America in Lakeville, Connecticut, ladies and gentlemen, for 2.46 kilometers, 9 turns, 56 kilometers an hour on pit lane. 18th of April 2022 is the race date, so a big happy Easter to everybody at home for yesterday. 24 and 42 laps for 24 laps race 1, 42 laps race 2, and a mandatory pit stop in race 2 as well, so don't forget that. 162.4 kilometers in total race distance fuel cover, 66.6 liters of fuel on board, so that will be enough to get through both races, I should say, with a stop for tyres in race 2. Fuel burn 1.8 litres a lap, with obviously only the 1 pit stop in race 2. Tyre limit is 2 for tonight, the one they start on, and for race 1, and I believe they've only got 1 changeover for race 2. I might be wrong though with that one. Air temperature 25 degrees, track temp 27, 19 kilometers an hour of a westerly wind direction, and the first time that we will be visiting the Lime Rock Park for the RSRA Super E-Series, or the RSRA in general. No lap record, no previous winner, and no lap time to be set by any driver around here. So we're going to be setting the history, the record books tonight. And this is for the GP circuit, I've just been told by our director as well. So just note there at the top of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, turns 5, 6, and 7. There's a bit of a chicane there. So instead of that big, long, sweeping, or I wouldn't say sweeping, Dan, but it's more of a 90-degree corner where you shoot yourself up over almost a jump, and you get the whole entire car airborne, and then you've got to try and settle it down somehow for turn 8.
Yeah, it's iRacing's done a really good job. They've obviously remodeled this circuit from very early on when Lime Rock first came to the series or to the server. But when you look at modern GTs around there, and I think more of like IMSA GT series that you actually see there in real life going there, it adds a real spice of life there. The big thing's going to be, it presents now another overtaking opportunity for these guys to get the car down. That being said, though, there's 3 little bollards on the inside of these corners that really unsettles these cars. So if you make a bit of a mistake, pick one of those up, it's going to fire you off into the weeds. I know we lost the jump, but that's almost the next best thing at this point.
Yeah, it's those little I almost call them sausages or hot dogs, instead of more than bollards. They really do upsettle the car. You see the cars lift off 2 wheels, and you've almost got to dive these cars across those hot dogs to be able to line that chicane up almost perfectly. You don't even really have to turn left to right. You just sort of almost beeline it with just a couple small little movements of the wheel, poke out the other side, and then the car gets all taily out of turn 7 on the final bit of the chicane there. So the driver's going to have a tough one handling a 650 horsepower, supercar around here that are like buses on a tight track that, as you said, IMSA and you see we had the MX-5s down here back in our rookie series when the guys started up on iRacing. That's going to be a real challenge to throw these cars around tonight, especially for 42 laps later on. Let's get into the championship points, ladies and gentlemen. Find out who's at the top and who's at the bottom, and find out where your favorite driver is currently sitting after 4 rounds of racing. We didn't quite get to Long Beach last week, ladies and gentlemen, due to a stricken director that fell incredibly ill on the Monday night. Luckily enough, he had the courage and the energy to be able to stream our Super Series on the Tuesday night, which we do take our hat off into that, and he was able to rest up all week and get us back here on Monday Night Motorsport. So if you did miss this on Monday night, ladies and gentlemen, last week, that is the reason why, and we do apologize for that one. We were going to try and get to a replay on the Wednesday night, but then myself started to feel incredibly ill and couldn't do it either. So we pulled the pin on it all together. But championship points coming up on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. David Coleman is the current leader with 584 points over David Nash. Nice little 4-point margin. Dan Mountain in 3rd position. Alan Dawson in 4th. Rod Hollis, Jason Schooler, Tony Gaffer, Jamie Davis sitting down in 8th. Matty Monday and Stephen Martin tied for 9th position right there. That rounds out the top 10 there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let those scroll on through for you. Dan, last week's race, I mean, you were in the hot seat for it around Long Beach. We know the concrete canyon around there it's always going to turn on a show. And from what I heard on this end, without actually seeing it, it's probably a race that a lot of people wanted to forget.
Yeah, look, it was an interesting one. I think, as far as qualifying was concerned, the drivers really, hats off to them. They did a phenomenal job. We had no real issues getting around there for that. The big one came obviously in the race. Just before we got to turn 1, there was a massive multi-car pileup, which did take then a lot of time away from race control, having to sort that one out. But they did a phenomenal job, got us under safety car and picked it apart. And for a lot of us, the driving was pretty good through that point. We managed to squeak our way through. And I think we saw a lot of guys that we traditionally see maybe towards the tail end, myself included, getting themselves up a little bit further that mid-pack back towards the pointy end, which was nice for a bit of a change. I made a bit of a mozza of my own race to my own detriment, and I've got to give a big apology to Matty Monday. I went across the nose of him on the run into the final pit stop, and unfortunately took him out of what was going to be a great position or finishing position for him. We were battling for, I think it was 8th or 9th at the time. So Matt, apologies for that one.
It tends to happen around Long Beach, doesn't it? It's just one of those circuits where there's just that much going on. There's so much around you. There's people trying to dive up where really they shouldn't be trying to dive up. So, it's just one of those tracks that catches you out. But the drivers are gridding up, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into the grid. We'll rattle this one off for what's going to be a cracking first race. Sebastian Vandal and Stefan Lawrence will round out your front row there. David Ash, David Coleman out of row 2. Dylan Thompson, Jamie Davis, row 3. Timmy Mulford, Justin Pennefather, row 4. Row 5 will see Brian Cooper and Alan Dawson. Row 6, Dan Mountain and Rod Hollis. Out of row 7, we'll see Stephen Lanyon and Lee Crowhurst. Row 8, Matty Monday, Adam Simpson. Steve Vella and Stephen Martin out of row 9. Jonathan Bain, Jaden Borg occupy row 10. Lauren Mackey, Jason Schooler, row 11. Peter Kelly and Tony Gaffer. Well, Tony Gaffer, Peter Kelly, my apologies, out of row 12. Then we've got Brandon Lachlan, Andrew Johnson, row 13. And then row 14, we've got Jeff Eddy and Dan Stevens with Lee Davis in the 000 race safety car, or the RSRO safety car, I should say. We might be getting a couple trips out tonight. It is a very, very tight track around Lime Rock, ladies and gentlemen. And it's definitely going to supply the action. Couple drivers still waiting to grid up. Maybe a few penalties during qualifying here, Dan. One that we're going to have to wait and see once we get underway. Just waiting for the final 2, 3, 4 drivers. There's a few more than just 4. There's about 6 drivers waiting to grid up, ladies and gentlemen. So maybe a few big penalties in qualifying there. Dan Lee.
it's a little bit of a weird one. I'm not too sure what's going on. So we've got 6 in the lane at the moment: Dave Nash, Jamie
Yeah.
Davis, Brian Cooper, Alan Dawson, Dan Colomouth, Steve Varga, Jaden Borg, Braden O'Loughlin. So we'll see what comes of this, because I know we did get a little bit of an extended grid time for Long Beach there, and potentially maybe a similar thing tonight. I guess the unfortunate thing for that is, for the guys that are gridded up now, that's going to start taking a bit of tire temp and pressure out of these cars. So, what's already a difficult circuit, when you think about how close the green is on the edge of the circuit, throw in some cold tires, 30 odd cars going down, going to be interesting.
Here we go. They're all in now, so all lined up on the grid, waiting for the lights to come up on screen. What's the run going to be? Dan Lee, before we do go green, your pick for tonight, mate. I know you're usually out on the field. What's your pick for tonight in the commentary booth, mate?
Look, I don't think you can go far past Sebastian Vandel. He's been very, very good in these cars. Timmy Mulford probably going to be the pick for me, or I think those guys are probably for me at the moment.
Vandel and Mulford for Dan Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, who's your pick? Leave it with us in the comments section. We can see what you are saying also. If you got any questions, ask those away. Lights are coming up on screen. Round 5 about to get underway. 5 red lights up on your screen. We are going Vandel with a spectacular jump. Stefan Lawrence goes with him as well. Into turn 1, looks pretty clean at the back so far. Side by side into turn 1, Vandel and Lawrence goes. Lawrence already off on the grass.
Lawrence gone.
Lawrence wants it wide. He's not going to come back from that anytime soon. A very long way around for turn 1. Vandel's going to try and capitalise out of this one. Nash,
Right.
Coleman, Thomas, Davis, Mulford, Pennefather, Cooper, Palomount, Dawson, lap 1, top 10 so far. Into the chicane they go. Up and over the hill. The car gets very loose. Fire it all the way out to turn 7. Vandel already opened up to 0.7 of a lead. Cold tyres around here. It takes about 3 to 4 laps for these Dunlop slicks to really warm up. Such a short circuit. 51 seconds qualifying these guys were doing. And that is blistering pace around here. Biggest loser, Stefan Lawrence so far. But then, the race start, he's the only loser in the entire field. The rest of them got through cleanly.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal job from the entire grid there to get away relatively unscathed there. Unfortunately for Lawrence, just got escorted a little wide on the exit of turn 1 there. And I think Vandel did everything he needed to do. Just placed the car beautifully, got it into position, and managed to drive away. And as you say, the gap now out to 1.1 seconds. So the car's looking very, very sharp so far early on, and he's making hay while the sun shines.
Spectacular drive so far. Good to see Jamie Davis, who's on your screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's sandwiched between, I was about to say sandwiched between 2 of the Phoenix boys, but Dylan Thomas from the Fishy Boy and Timmy Mulford from the Phoenix group. He's sandwiched in between those guys. Coleman having a look up the inside of Nash. Vandel fast lap of the race, 51.27. That's almost going into the 50 second zone. That is blistering quick. That's Coleman and Nash are duking it out on lap 3 of 24, ladies and gentlemen, for position number 2. Not a long night to go. When in race 1 is where you're going to start race 2. Don't forget that one, ladies and gentlemen. All the drivers start to filter their way through. Car off in the back, Stephen Lanyon. He's plummeting down position. He's made a mistake somewhere along the line. One good thing about Lime Rock, Dan, is you make a mistake, there's not far to go to try and catch up the drivers.
No, not at all. You can recover relatively quickly there. We have got a very slow car. I'm just trying to work out who that is on circuit.
Lord Mackey.
Adam Scoops. Maybe Lauren Mackey, yeah. Right down the back of the field. So he's fallen off. He needs a safety car to get himself back in contention. But you're right. 50-second lap here, unless you really make a monster of it, plumber it, like nose it into the wall, you can get yourself back without too much of an issue there and still be in contention relatively quickly.
Yeah, definitely. There is actually quite a lot of runoff as mentioned through the big bend of 1 and 2. We saw Stefan Lawrence go for a trip off there straight off the race start, and never made a monster. He kept it out of the fence, plenty of runoff room. The thing is, once you're out there and you get sandwiched out in that grass, that big field between, you know, that triangle of turns 2, 3, and 4, it's a long way to get back up to turn 3. From the bottom of turn 2 as Jamie Davis goes around the outside of Tim Mulford. He gets sandwiched out there. Pennefather's going to capitalise. And he does. Pennefather capitalises big time.
Great run into turn 1 there for Mulford, just getting the car down the inside and holding him out high and wide there. And for Pennefather, very opportunistic move as he sticks the nose out again. Oh, the guys are looking for some good options. There's a little bit of bump and run as the guys now get through that chicane.
Yeah, it's really starting to stack up now inside the top 11, really, from Tim Mulford back to 11th with Rod Hollis. It's going to be a cracking battle. Brian Cooper right in the thick of it as well. And Dan Palomount just behind them. We know some good driving can be performed from Dan Palomount there, Dan. Timmy Mulford, one of probably the most difficult drivers, I must admit, to try and get around within the RSRA Super 2 E-Series.
Yeah, look, I can strongly agree to that after my battle with him last season at Suzuka there when we had the reverse grid race. We spent all day trying to get behind him and keeping Jonathan Ben off the back bumper as well. So, yeah, very, very tricky guy to pass. And you're going to need a strong move to get down the inside to make it stick as well.
Big fumble there by Jamie Davis into the chicane. That's going to allow Brian Cooper up and to have a dive quite possibly into turn 7. Plays it safe. Bit of a lift, come into the dip. Cars get unsettled as you come down, but then once the grip is there, you can really throw it around, cross it on the middle of Pala Mountain. Then we've got Rod Hollis as well, 3 wide into turn 1, almost, but they're going to go 2 wide. Bit of a lock up on Pala Mountain. Pala Mountain runs wide. That allows Hollis up the inside of Dawson. Dawson now fights back with a big slide into turn, out of 2 into 3. This is some door-to-door racing, ladies and gentlemen, as they cut through 4 and down the back chute.
How good is it? That's some phenomenal driving from both the guys there, just to give each other enough little bit of room, work through that first 3 to 4 corner section there and get through without any major issues there. Hollis just on the did the right thing. I thought he was going to lose the back end there as he chopped across to turn 3, but just enough room in it to keep the fight alive.
Up 8:24, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump on board with our leader, Sebastian Barndale. We're even actually go back to David Coleman. David Coleman's currently putting the pressure on David Nash right now. Dawson has a little bit of a lock up there. But let's jump on board with Dave Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. Crank up the volume. Listen to the pedal work around Lime Rock Park. Go live just as they're coming out of turn 7 there before they go to the downhill bend. And listen to the pedal work as he makes the attack on David Nash, tries to close the gap up. He's currently half a second off the pace. So crank up the volume, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to Dave Coleman go to work on David Nash. Dave Coleman going to work on David Nash, ladies and gentlemen. He started out from half a second behind. He's now just gone to 4/10. Now crept up to 5/10 as they came out of turn 2. Just lost a bit of traction there, and that's how easy it is to lose time around here. Biggest movers and the biggest losers so far are on your timing tower right there, ladies and gentlemen. Run through them. Justin Pennefather, 3 inside the top 10. Rod Hollis up to Biggest mover so far, though, of the night, Jaden Borg, Dan, up 8 positions. Unfortunately, the biggest losers, Stefan Lawrence and Steve Lanyon, they're down in 17 positions down for Lawrence, down in 19th, and 11 for Lanyon, down in 24th now.
Yeah, but they're doing a good job starting to come back through the field now. As you said, we saw Lawrence go off lap 1, turn 1, and he fell right back into the field. But coming back through, as we have a look at Nash, trying to just hold on to this spot here for second position. Dave Coleman still getting a look into it. Jaden Borg doing a phenomenal job first time out in the series. Go to Sim Sports. I might have to pay rise, keep that on the quiet. But no, doing a phenomenal job there, 8 spots gained. But the rest of the field still doing a hell of a job. I mean, we've seen no major incidents from any untoward action through here so far. We've seen a little bit of bump and run, but it's kind of expected to be on such a short circuit. But this battle for second position, as it's heating up right now, is looking to be the talk of the town.
Yeah, it's been an absolute cracking start for the Lime Rock. So I'm actually quite surprised that we haven't had to see Lee Davis come out, but that's the joys of that little bit of runoff area as well with the grass. But I guess it's not enough to be able to slow you down before you walk. Once you hit that grass, you're straight into that wall. But look at Nash now. He's going very, very defensive. Coleman's starting to really apply that pressure to Nash and wants to open up that championship lead.
Yeah, I'm just looking at just how settled these cars are through that midsection there, which is really tough to get the power down. Neither of these guys really having to fight the car too much. Good drive and traction, and the braking performance still very, very sharp, as we've come to sort of expect from these front runners now in the series.
Allowing Varndale to check out as well. So that's something that the boys have really got to start to focus on, is do they want to let Varndale skip out any further? He's currently 2.2 seconds, lap 12 of 24. So we're going to half race distance so far. It is a sprint for the first race, ladies and gentlemen. So all out sprint, 24 laps, no tyres, no pit stops, no nothing. Oh, Cooper and Davis. Cooper has a look up the inside of Davis. Davis throws it around the outside. Reefs on the steering wheel, managed to hold the outside of Cooper. There's one of the KFC entries off. That's Stephen Martin. Martin's off. Davis fighting with Cooper around the outside. Can he get the run onto the backstretch? Can Cooper hold there and go for a dive up the inside of the chicane? Who's going to be bold enough to go late on the brakes? Through the chicane, they go almost too wide. Davis cops the hot dog, loses traction. And then Cooper capitalises. Dawson capitalises as well. So is going to be Hollis.
Great racing from those guys.
That is a great move. Talk us through this one, Dan. Stephen Martin in the grass.
Yeah, just going to see if we can go back a little bit further to check this one out. But looks typical of sort of the turn 1 incident there. You run it off wide and just patch that little bit of grass on the outside there, and it flicks the car hard off to the driver's right there. And unfortunately for him, he'll need to bring it down the lane and get that thing serviced. So that's going to put Pay to a good run tonight. We'll keep an eye on where he's maybe get himself through. Still out there in 27 at the moment, but as you can see, a fair bit of damage on that car.
Cooks it. Too much gas. Around he goes, and he's got his spoiler. When we came back to him, he had no that's where he lost his spoiler, quite possibly.
Yeah,
maybe
it looks like just backed it up.
Yeah. He's holding on the infield there, left it in reverse, gives it a gutful of gas, as you do. And that's how he loses the rear spoiler, ladies and gentlemen. So when you do pull on the infield, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you've got it in the gear that says number 1 and not R for race. That's that's a big thing that you got to make sure there.
Well, and it's really difficult to do in these cars. I mean, when you get the field of view right, you can hardly see anything on the dash in these things. So unless you've got something like, let's say, Z1 or JRT running, you kind of lose track of where you are. You get so fixated on just trying to get the car out there. You go, oh, bloody hell, I've missed whatever I'm looking for as you get it back underway. Jamie Davis just saw having a little bit of a moment there too, just up through 5, 6, 7. He's still continuing to fall a little bit further down the field as well. Now in 11th position, and actually might get a move put on him here by Jaden Borg as well.
Yeah, Jamie Davis really dropped off the pace, and then might have copped the slowdown actually, because you through that chicane, if you take it wrong, you cop a massive slowdown. And I reckon that's how Jaden Borg's really come up on the back bumper of him. He's lost 3 seconds out. Oh, someone's gone and blown motor. They're almost going to be cooking a motor there. It's puffing away. That's Adam.
Lachlan.
That's O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin in the grass. Got to allow everyone by. Oh, Cooper does the big jump over the hot dog. O'Loughlin chugging away. That motor is really puffing now.
He's doing an awesome job to keep that car out of the harm's way, though.
He is doing a fantastic job. Barndell's really checking out now, but Nat Dash and Coleman are starting to close back in ever so slowly. The battle's heating up now with Ron Hollis, Brian Cooper, Ron Hollis, Alan Dawson, Dan Palamount, not too far away from this battle now, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 17 of 24. They're ticking away and dropping off like flies, those laps.
Keep an eye too on the pace that we're seeing from the guys here tonight. Already 17 laps in. Last time by for Sebastian, a 152.27. So he's dropped about a second pace since the start of this race. At the moment, most of the guys now have settled into that 52 realm, just trying to hold on to those positions. But fight here for 10th and 11th position is going to rage right on through to the end here, as the guys continuing to put the pressure on down over the hill, getting back onto the front straight once more.
Adam Simpson, Brad O'Loughlin in the pits, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Hollis on Cooper right now. Through turn one, they go. Bigger lock up by Dawson. He wants in as well. They go side by side, 2 wide. Dawson hanging back so slightly. He wants to throw the nose up in there and make it 3 wide, but you can't make it 3 wide around Lime Rock as Hollis gives way to Cooper to have a run down him on the back stretch. What can he do? Oh, they make contact. Hollis and Cooper make contact. Cooper goes ejecto Cedo over the wall and straight to pit lane. That's going to be a big penalty coming to Rod Hollis.
Yeah, that's a tricky one there, because we saw those guys having a real hammer of a battle for the last sort of 3 laps. We're going to have a look back at the replay now, and just as we saw on the nose, just picking up that rear end. But let's check this out through those last few corners. Cooper does nothing wrong here. He just parks the car right in the middle of the road where he needs to, holds his line, maybe just half a car width over, and Cooper just missed it, flicks him off and over the hill. We saw that last season actually at Summit Point. I think it might have been one of the Phoenix cars that did the loop off the end through qualifying, and might have been Rehan Leonard's actually doing that one, and it, yeah, as you say, ejected him straight back into the lane.
One of the features that iRacing do, because obviously once you go over that fence, there's no possible way to get back to pit lane yourself. So iRacing just ejects you straight back to the pit lane. And that's race done. Brian Cooper now, ladies and gentlemen, he won't be allowed out back, or he won't be allowed back out from that one. Oh, he will be. Our director says he's allowed to come back out. Depending on what damage he sustained as well. It's another big thing to note as well, Dan, because that looked like a very, very big hit in the front end of that car.
Well, copped at both ends, both front and rear there, and probably the only panel that's still maybe a little bit straight on it might be the right-hand door, but probably not much left in it. We've got another car off. That's Varndell, or Steve Vella, sorry. He's gone off now. Let's check out where that is. I think that might be down in turn 2 there. Very slow, just making his way back on, and that puts him back in 17th position now.
Turn 3 that was, going into turn 4. So that's probably the only place you can really come off the track in the around here, unless you're at the top end of the circuit in the West Bend, where you've got the old existing track where it pokes out to the left and then comes back to chicane. So just there where they were. As Varndell now comes up onto Peter Kelly. We're going to put a lap down onto him. Andrew Johnson just up in front of him. But Nash and Coleman really closing the gap now to Varndell. They've stopped fighting. They've stopped arguing. They finally agreed to say, hey, let's go catch this driver out front. We can't let him get too far. 3 laps to go. But the lap traffic is really holding Varndell up now. He can't get a clear way around him. Andrew Johnson out of the way. Another one picked off. Now he can put the foot down, but Johnson peels out of the way for Nash and Coleman as well. That's allowed him to come back a second. A second and half a lap, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's tough for the guys here when you get into that lap down position, trying to find the room to get out. We saw there for Andrew Johnson, maybe could have got out of it a little bit down the front straight there, but held position there. That was 0.2 of a second loss to Varndell just in 3 corners sitting behind. So yeah, traffic management is key. We didn't talk about that at the start of this race, but you know, it's a big thing to really keep an eye on, especially when we go into into the second sprint round tonight.
Dan Mountain, there we just got a penalty come through. Dan Mountain, car 380. Dan Mountain for contact with the 92 of Jamie Davis on lap 15. So that's going to be a penalty, a drive-through penalty for Dan Mountain. So that's going to see him drop all the way back down to the rear of the field. And that's going to be a very, very big task to come back in the next race. As Varndell now catches up to Lucky. Davis now on Borg up the inside. They make contact. This is some good rubbing for race and for move. Through turn 4 they go. Borg gives it. He's not afraid to comment. He's not afraid to dish it out. His Dan Leeds jumping up and down in his seat for this one. He wants to see him go at it. Through the chicane they go. Varndell takes the final lap flag. The white flag is out for Varndell. Through 1 and 2 he goes. He's led from the start to the finish. Morgan Davis still going at it through the final corner. Matty Monday wants in on it as well. Big slide by Jamie Davis. 3 wide. Down the main straight they go. Davis, Borg, Monday. Davis with a squiggle. Monday goes 2 for 1. Thank you very much. Around the inside. Can he get it sealed and done? Borg still there. Borg up the inside of 4. This is some great racing, ladies and gentlemen. Monday up the inside of Borg. Davis going to follow. The outside down the back straight. Varndell takes the checkered flag. Oh,
They're all in
and Monday make contact. Jamie Davis goes to the front of that battle pack. Nash, Coleman, Thomas, Pettifar, and Mulford take the checkered flag. What a battle that was between the 3 cars of Davis, Borg, and Matty Monday. What a fantastic little scrap that was on the final lap. All on the line. But Sebastian Varndell checked out from the start. The boys caught back up to him, but it just wasn't enough after 24 laps. And he comes home victorious. Oh, Dan Leet, you got to give me a break, mate, because that was a big, big moment.
Mate, where do we start with that? As the team owner in me for Jade there is like, yes, get in there, son. Doing awesome. But look, we'll see what comes of it. As we go back to the talk of the race, though, Sebastian Varndell, phenomenal there. We saw that only little bit of panel rub, lap 1 with Steve Lawrence there. Other than that, he checked out, managed the traffic beautifully towards the back end of the race and still got himself home there with a bit over a second advantage. So did a phenomenal job as far as that's concerned. Other than that, the racing throughout the field was top notch. We saw everyone have a real solid crack. And as we saw right at the end there, 3 cars in it for the top 10. And it all came together right back at that final chicane there.
That was absolutely unreal. I mean, I'm going to need some strepsils after this one. I've got them sitting in the car as well. I should have taken some before the race because that was absolutely unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, our top 3 sit with us in the booth right now. Dave Coleman, David Nash, and obviously our winner, Sebastian Varndell. David Coleman, mate, we'll start with you. Currently leading the championship right now, and as the unofficial results come up on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, currently leading the championship. So he's bagging some crucial points, but it looks like Sebastian Varndell might be the one to beat tonight around Lime Rock Park.
100%, but poor Sebby's had some bad luck, so I don't know if you'd say he's in it, so it's just a matter of keeping clean, especially around here and lap traffic. So
Yeah, it's all about the luck and trying to be consistent in it, mate. 24 laps for the first race. Tires are obviously going to be a big one here. Yeah, there's only really, technically, there's only one left-hand corner. The chicane doesn't really count as your left-hander, so there's only one left-hand bend. The rest is all right-hander. So the left-hand side of the car is really going to cop a flogging. After 24 laps, how was your starting to feel? Were the tires still there, or are they starting to fade away?
that definitely do fade, but I probably did baby it a bit too much. I probably should have pushed a bit harder and tried to catch Nassie, but he's a tough driver, and around here there's not many opportunities, so I'd rather sit behind him and risk both of us going off. So
Well, mate, if you had have seen what was going on up on the final lap, you would have been closing your eyes, holding your heads, pulling your hairs out, everything. That was an unbelievable battle, mate. Good luck for race two. That's the long one. 42 laps is going to be absolutely superb around here, especially with the compulsory pit stop as well. So that's going to mix up quite a lot of strategy. What's the plan for that one, mate?
same thing. Hopefully, get a good start, and if we're in traffic, you probably can conserve a little bit of fuel, and probably, like, realistically, if you can take on a couple of liters less, you'll probably jump the next person in the pit lane. So
Well, mate,
hopefully that's the strategy.
all the best, and we'll hopefully see you here at the end of the night.
Thank you.
David Coleman, ladies and gentlemen, on to our second place sitter, David Nash, the veteran. Big warm welcome to you, mate, and congratulations on P2 for race one.
Thanks, mate. It was more about just like Coleman said, just keep it clean, try to keep him at a distance. I knew I was stronger on maybe one or two corners, and that sort of kept them at bay down the straight. And Seb just obviously kept the number, and I just couldn't catch him. And that left traffic was horrendous the last couple of laps. So yeah, it was touch and go there. So yeah, no, it was good fun.
Mate, it was you really caught up to him. That lap traffic really played a part into yours and Coleman's hands right at the end to it. Something that you're gonna try and throw in the strategy in the next race of yours when if he does get out on too far on you.
Yeah, we talked about it, and if you pit early, you are going to get caught in traffic. So you sort of just got to mimic what everyone else is doing and just try to stick with them, which is easier said than done.
Gonna be a bit follow the leader tonight, isn't it?
100%.
Well, mate, all the best for race two. 42 laps ahead. What's the plan? Well, we already know what your plan is. But what's the plan of attack? The main plan of attack now. When you think about taking on the fuel and the tire and trying to hunt down such fast Sebastian Vandal. What's going to be the plan of attack in a rough pit lap for you? I reckon. If you were
Lap
going to do it.
traffic. Lap traffic is sort of about the only thing that's going to help me. If it's just follow the leader, he's pretty strong in all corners. So, and pit strategy is between lap 1 and 42.
That makes it a bit obvious, doesn't it?
I can't give that away. Come on.
Hey, you never know. You
These
never know
people
who's
listening.
listening.
No, it'd be sort of mid. It'd be mid, 20. Depends what the tires feel pretty good even after 24 laps. So
Mate, you're the veteran. You could pit with the body with on the first lap, and you could still make it to the
yeah,
end
but
and win
these
the
younger
race.
guys with faster twitch fibers that are faster than me.
They've just got the endurance, don't they?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All the best, mate. We'll hopefully
Thanks,
see
Jake.
you at the end of the night. Sebby, mate, big warm welcome to you, and congratulations on the first race win for tonight around Lime Rock Park. How did that one go for you, mate?
Yeah, that went well. Obviously, it's good to be back in the commentary booth after a couple rounds. The lap traffic was a bit sketchy, but we got through only just. But yeah,
Well, obviously, I think after last week, mate, I think it's a bit of a better feeling to be up the front than where you were last week around Long Beach.
yeah, definitely. Last week was heartbreaking, but nothing we could do. Just got to fight for race wins and good results now because the championship's probably be out of reach. Yeah.
Nothing's too far out of reach, mate. There's always ways to come back from the bottom. We've seen Dylan Rudd do it, and he's come extremely close. It's the bonus points that they're going to make the difference right now. And don't forget, it's double points as well, being the Enduro at Bathurst. So don't forget, Bathurst is all of Bathurst. If someone crashes out, you take the win, mate. That's still double points. So always look forward to the end of the season. We're speaking to Coleman about it. The tyres around here, we know that you can be quite vigorous and hard on tyres sometimes. So how are they coping for you?
Towards the end of the 24 laps, I could feel them dropping off a bit, but for the majority of the race, yeah, they felt strong.
Well, mate, we wish you all the best for race 2, 42 laps ahead of you. And what's the plan of attack to try and hold off the likes of Nash and Coleman, who are very, very strong at the moment?
Don't want to give away too much, but basically just saving the tires and saving a bit of fuel where I can, and just to shorten the pit stop as much as I can.
Bit worried about the lap traffic?
The lap, like considering the track, the lap traffic's been good. There's not much they could do when it's such a tight track, but it is a bit sketchy in how you going when you're trying to get around them.
Well, mate, all the best, and we'll hopefully see you back here at the end of the night.
Thank you.
Sebastian Vandal, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner for race 1. 2 for the price of 1 admission tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On to race 2, we go around Lime Rock Park. And we've just got another penalty to be handed out to the 177 for the contact on 344. So that's Rod Hollis on Brian Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be a pit lane start. Pit lane start for Rod Hollis. So that's going to put him right at the back of the field, and he's going to have a lot of driving to do. But it's Lime Rock, Dan, and anything can happen around here, being such a short track. And as we mentioned earlier in the top of the broadcast, it's very, very easy to claw your way back to the top.
Well, it is. And I mean, realistically, starting at the back of the lane is not the worst thing that you could have around this place. If we do see some incidents lap 1, turn 1 again, there's every chance that those guys will get back through. And in the event you get a safety car, it's a null and void penalty in a sense. It puts you right back on the train and you're back in contention. Interestingly, though, listening to the guys as they were having a chat post-race, though, traffic will be a big thing to play. We didn't talk about it a lot to begin race 1, but as we saw at the back end of the race, the guys got amongst it, and now you got to throw into the mix short lap, the fast pace, traffic, and a tyre strategy and pit stop strategy that you need to come through at somewhere along the way. So it's a lot for these guys to be thinking on the fly if they want to get themselves through it.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've also got another pit lane start for the 052 of Stefan Lawrence. The contact on the 005 of Steve Valor on lap 20. So pit lane start, ladies and gentlemen. The 052 of Stefan Lawrence. That's 2 drivers now starting from pit lane. Brian Cooper is also going to start all the way down the back there as well. So that's going to be an interesting battle to see how these drivers will fight their way back. The very back of the field is Dan Stevens, our safety car driver for race 2, has found himself back into the pits after his outing laps in the safety car. And we're only 10 seconds away from gridding up, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be able to whiz through the grid for you very, very quickly as we go racing for race 2. 42 laps around Lime Rock Park. That's going to be an absolute belter. Look for lap 23 thereabouts. 21 for a pit stop. But off row 1, we'll have Sebastian Vandal and David Nash. Row 2, we're going to have David Coleman and Dylan Thomas as well, ladies and gentlemen. The top 3 didn't really change in that first race, and they definitely skipped away from row 3, Justin Pennefather and Timmy Mulford. Mulford only gaining 1 position in that race in race 1. Rod Hollis from pit lane. So Alan Dawson is going to have that 4th row occupied to himself. Jamie Davis and Lee Crowhurst out of row 5. Matty Monday and Jaden Borg will be out of row 6. Row 7, Stefan Lawrence and Dan Palamountain, but Stefan Lawrence from pit lane. So Dan Palamountain by himself out there as well. Jason Schooler, Tony Gaffer out of row 8. Row 9, we'll see Jonathan Bain and Steve Lanyon. Lord Mackie, Andrew Johnson, row 10. Peter Kelly, Jeff Eddy out of row 11. Steve Vella will be out of row 12 alongside Stephen Martin, Adam Simpson, Brian Cooper, row 13, with Braden O'Loughlin bringing up the rear of the field out of row 14 there. And the pit lane starters tonight will be Rod Hollis and Stefan Lawrence. Couple more drivers to come out onto the grid, ladies and gentlemen. And we will get under racing, or green flag racing. Barney the flagman standing up in the tower there, a long way off the track there as well, Dan Lee, which would be in real life, would make it extremely hard to see where you're going to be starting from, considering there's no lights actually sitting above you.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, unless you've got a spotter helping you roll into the box, you're going to be a mile out of position. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It is the staggered start as well, which will be interesting to see how the guys get off the line. So in effect, it is going to provide a little bit of an advantage to Varndell. I know he's on the dirty side of the track, but you've already got car length advantage getting these things away. So that will come into its own. I think if Nash can get a good jump, much like we saw Steve Lawrence do last time out, he could find himself maybe going around the outside in turn one. It's been done already, and we've seen some great side-by-side racing through there, especially through race one, with the guys being able to hold station in there. So there's plenty of options from around here. We've still got, as you say, quite a few guys off in the pits for the pit lane start. But like we were saying, if you throw that safety car in at some point, they're going to come right back into contention again.
The main place to be for to really succeed for that move, because it's a big long battle from turn one all the way through to turn four. The place to be is on the inside of turn one. You hold the inside of one, you hold the inside of two. If you can keep the outside of three, it sets you up for the inside of four, then the inside of five. So the joys of a right-hand dominant circuit, I guess, Dan, is that the inside is always going to work best around here, considering you only have to go around a left-hander once. So lights are up on board. Everybody's gridded up on racing. A few more starting from pit lane than we actually thought. 5 lights on the board. Varndell gets away nice and clean. Nashi gets a flying start as well. Pretty even off the rest of the rows. Few bit of diving and dicing. Got Varndell and Nash go through turns 1 and 2, almost side by side. Nash right on the rear bar of Varndell. To 4-3 they come. To dive it down into 4. Ever so dancing on that throttle. Very cold size. Down the back chute they go. The no-name straight, as they like to call it. Through the uphill chicanes.
Another
Making
great
their way to turn 7. Very, very clean start so far, Dan Lee.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the guys did a phenomenal job. Got the cars away beautifully there. No major incidents. The guys starting out of pit lane have already gained a fistful of time now, coming back through the little backstop chicane there and getting back into contention. But I've got to say, David Nash, a great start there. I think he might have just pulled out last minute as he sticks the nose in to turn 1 there. He almost on the back edge there of Sebastian Varndell there. And just as Varndell moved, you could see him get on the brakes a bit, tuck the nose back in and follow station. We're already back to single file, which is kind of what we've expected so far.
And Nash looks very racy in race 2. Might have just made a setup tweak as they make their way around for lap 2. It's going to give us an indication of how quick these drivers are really going to get around here this time round. Very, very quick race 1. Very, very fast race 1 it was, Dan. And I think the average lap time around for race 1 was a 51.9. So if they're anywhere close to that, we're going to be seeing a race completed, ladies and gentlemen, in just under 42 minutes. So this is going to be an absolute quick race. 52 flat for Varndell. Borg has a quick look at the inside of Jason Schooler from Century Motorsports. He's following Lee Crowhurst as well. Varndell, Nash, Coleman, Thomas, Penafile and Mulford all unchanged in position. Dawson up 1, Davis up 1, Monday up 2, and Crowhurst stays where he started as well. So that's the top 10 there, ladies and gentlemen. Dan, I believe this one's going to be a little bit more of a cautious race, I think, considering that there's 42 laps to go through. Very, very tight circuit. Lap traffic's going to play a big, big role, and they've still got that compulsory stop, which they can they can really complete, anywhere between laps, I'd almost say, or anywhere between lap 4, 15 and 23, I'd almost say.
Yeah, and this is where it's really going to come into play for a lot of these teams that have a spotter sitting on board to help out with the strategies. We know Fishy Motorsports, for instance, like to have the guys jump in both Monday and Tuesday night racing to help everyone out there. That's going to play a nice advantage, especially for David Coleman there. When they get onto the back of the traffic, not only will they see it visually, but you know how close you're getting. You can see the gap coming down. You go, right, let's pull the trigger, get it in, get the stop done, cycle through, and maybe not lose as much time by getting stuck behind that lap traffic, which if we think that lap race one just only happened, but if we go back to what we saw with Sebastian trying to work his way through, he lost close to a second in half a lap there trying to figure his way through. And as the leader coming onto that, keeping an eye on the guys behind you, you've got to keep an eye in front, and you've got to be smart about it because there's still points to gain, and we're still fighting for a championship at the end of the day.
All up the inside of Schooler, gets the move done nice and cleanly. Schooler's going to go for the over-under move. And see if he can't throw it back up the inside. He doesn't. But Paul gets the move done on Schooler. He's bent his eyes forward on Lee Crowhurst. We look back at the back of Lee Crowhurst now. But yeah, you make a very valid point there. It's almost as if you get up on that lap traffic, you throw it into the pits, and hopefully everybody plays follow the leader, and it works in your favour where you get you catch up to lap traffic halfway through the race, jump into the pits, everybody else follows, then you come back out and the track's relatively free.
And I think you're kind of a bit mad not to take that sort of strategy approach, as we see Mulford nicely down through the inside of turn one there on Alan Dawson. It'd be a little bit silly to not do it, because you're only going to get held up by traffic if you say second or third position. Now you've got a car in front of you that's the half a second, let's say, slower. It's going to compromise you when the rest of the field cycles through their pit stops. Yeah, you might save a little bit of fuel overall in the stop, but you're getting hampered further down the line. You're going to use more of the tyre. You're going to hurt your strategy and race long term.
Yeah, definitely are. You're out to a nice lead that Barndale is now. He's already slipped out to 1.3 seconds. Lap 6 at 42, ladies and gentlemen. Out to a 1.5 second lead already over Nash. Coleman still battling Nash very, very hard, like he did all along in race one. The minute they come up on this lap traffic, that's where Barndale says he didn't struggle too much, but it was pretty clear that he was struggling to get around these guys because of how tight Lime Rock is. I mean, there's nowhere really to overtake on the top end of the circuit unless the driver gives way. And remember, it's the blue flag rule. The driver just doesn't have to pull out of the way and let you pass. The driver has to hold their line. So it's up to the car overtaking them to get around as clean as they can. So it's almost a courtesy thing when you see the blue flag, just pull over, let them go back in. But sometimes the guys want to make it a little bit difficult. They'll hold that line.
And look, I don't think it's so much making it a difficult pass for it. You're being predictable, which is what you need in this type of thing. If for anyone who's done multi-class racing, or let's say Daytona 24-hour or Sebring 12-hour, you need to be consistent with your line. And if you can do that, the guy knows where he can stick the car, get the move done, and dust it, and away he goes. As we just have a look a little bit further up, this is a battle for 10th position now with Lee Crowhurst and Jaden Paul getting in and amongst it. We did see two just a moment ago. Tony Gaffer also getting the Coastal Sport entry under Jason Schooler there in turn one, previous lap around. So those guys working their way forward, but Crowhurst doing a good job here, just positioning the car nicely. And this is sort of the thing we're talking about, where as long as you hold your line, it makes it really difficult for the guys to find that spot where they need to go. Yes, it could be argued that as the car being lapped, you should just get out of the way and not impede, but you're also running your own race. And as long as you do it smart and sensibly, play on, maybe to a point. After that, if you just go 2 laps and they're still there and you haven't got out of the way, maybe step aside and clear on through.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless you're an LMP2 car where you're argy-bargy impatient like everybody on my race and you think all the road. But as you said, you hold the line, you make it predictable. It does make that passing very, very very, very easy. We've got Steve Vella with big pressure at the moment from Peter Kelly, Stefan Lawrence not far behind them, as well as Dan Mountain. So these drivers that have started from the pit lane really struggling to get around these slower cars at the rear of the field. Just goes to show how tight it is around Lime Rock, ladies and gentlemen, to get past these drivers. Hollis now having a look on Lord Mackey.
We've already got our first car in the lane as well, Steve Leyland coming through now. I think that might have been a drive-through penalty for that car, so no official stop listed. But he is on well down at the order of the field. When we think about Braden O'Loughlin at the moment, he's our last car effectively on the lead lap at this point in time. He's only coming through the final corner now and across the start-finish line, where our leaders are coming through to second to last on their way down the final corner. So we've already knocked over 10 laps, and we're probably going to see, you know, more cars getting overtaken here in the next 3 to 4 laps.
There's Mackey. There we go. Nash dives into the pits. That's a very early pit stop. He said lap, about mid-lap race-ish. Well, I'd almost call this mid-race. Very quick round Lime Rock, ladies and gentlemen. 11 to 42 already. We've only been racing for not even 10 minutes. That just goes to show you how quick we've been going. It feels like we've been going for 20 minutes, Dan, but it's only been a couple of minutes. Where's Nashy going to come out? That's the question. He's going to come right out the back of the field behind Ed Johnson. Ryan Cooper's there as well, so this is going to be a big battle. Cooper's seen Nash pull out of the pits. So Cooper's going to try and want to catch him here and see what he does, because Cooper's obviously right down the back of the field at the moment. He's stuck behind just from Jeff Eddy there, but he's going to be coming up to Andrew Johnson, who's
And Andrew Johnson, the elder statesman of the RSRA,
yeah,
he's a very gentleman racer. He will move that car over, no doubt, and allow the guys to continue their way through. He knows who he's racing with and who he's not. And as you can see there, just moves it a little bit wide through the final corner, and that releases Nash now to get on his way. And we didn't get an idea of whether that was tyres in that one, but as we were saying, kind of mad not to take tyres at that point.
well, if it's an 8-second stop, you may as well take tyres, because it's oh no, just got a pit lane penalty come through from race control, Dan, and it's not good news for David Nash. It's a pit lane infringement, unfortunately, for lap 10, so that's going to be a drive-through. He's going to be cussing and swearing. I don't know where he went wrong on that one. I saw nothing wrong when we switched to him in the pit lane, so
We'll need to keep an eye on that. We've also got, we did have a stationary car down the back of the field. Looks like they're moving under their own power again. Leaders, though, Sebastian Varndale doing a phenomenal job here. 0.8 of a second. So he's come back marginally out of David Coleman with Nash coming into the lane. And he's just managing the race nicely here. They've still got a good little advantage of just over 1.5 seconds now from Dylan Thomas.
7 cents at the moment over Coleman. And as they come down the straightaway for start lap 14. 42, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like there's such a long way to go in this race, but there's not. And they're ticking over laps at almost 53 seconds flat. This is going to be a very, very quick race. Big news of the night so far, ladies and gentlemen. If you are joining us, David Nash is the first of our pit stoppers. Drivers make their compulsory pit stop. As doing that, he's got the pit lane infringement. Had to cop a drive-through penalty for that one. And he was actually, he played it out well there, Dan, because he pitted. He only had Andrew Johnson in front of him, and then after that, he had smooth sailing the whole way to the next car. Then he had complete fresh air to get down and boogie to catch up to Varndale, and unfortunately just went all horribly wrong.
Well, it did, but it's given us one valuable piece of information now. So for later on, if we do see any other drivers get that infringement, we've got a reference time of what you're going to take to get down through the lane. And when we consider it's a 52-second average lap thereabouts, 22.13 seconds to transit the lane. So you lose the better part of nearly half a lap to work your way through that. When you think about how tight this field is compressed, that's a lot of time to find up later on in the back end of this race.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a complete transit down the whole lane of 23 seconds. That's a long way. I mean, you could probably cut that down if you click through the gears and did the little you'd almost call it a hack. Being the sim world, it is all online. There's a little trick that you guys can do and switching through the gears to gain that extra K or two down the pit lane on the pit limiter without getting done for speeding. So that will obviously transit down an extra half a second quicker, but it could turn out to be half a second at the end of the race is all you need. A safety car can bring Nash right back into the mix of it all. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting one tonight. Drivers for this race are absolutely phenomenal. I think they're just glad to be out of a concrete canyon, really, and going around a circuit where they've got the runoff area to go. And it's funny, once they've got the runoff area, it's they give each other all the room in the world.
Well, they do, and I'm really surprised given how tight the circuit is that they're allowing some of those moves to go on. The interesting one will be next week. Not only is it a special one for the series, and we'll talk about that right at the end of the race, but it's probably one of the longest circuits that we go to for the calendar, besides, well, actually probably a little longer than Bathurst Road America next week. And I mean, we go from something that's a 50-second lap, something that pushes out over a nearly 2-minute 20 lap, fast flowing circuit, wide overtaking runs. It's a completely different challenge. As I say, we've had 3 massive driving style adjustments recently, and mate, how about the news that has just come across the desk?
Just got some big news. Just 110% confirmation, ladies and gentlemen, to find out about the big news that may be breaking on for tonight's race. Just bear with us on that one as we go to lap 18 of 42, ladies and gentlemen, on board at the moment with, I believe that's 412. I believe that's Jason Schooler. Yes, it is. Rod Hollis just up in front of them. He's battling out with Tony Gaffer at the moment. One of your drivers, mate, as he gets the move done. Gaffer with the yellow mirrors and rims makes it nice and easy for Hollis to creep on down. Jamie Davis off the track somewhere. He's off the track big. He's dropped the position. He's out in the weeds. He's banging off the tyre wall. That's third 4. So he's gone off somewhere in between 3 and 4.
And look who's right in now behind him after what we saw at the end of race 1. Jaden Borg right back in amongst it now.
This is going to be a repeat. We just need Matty Monday. He's up in front of Davis at the moment. Are we going to be getting a repeat at the end of race 1, ladies and gentlemen? Big lock up into the pit lane for one of the Riot Sim Racing boys. Two of those boys going, oh no, Hollis around. Oh, there's big contact. Big contact from Adam Simpson on Rod Hollis down the front straight. That's surely got to bring out a safety car. Hollis catches the sand, spins it around, tries to gas it, didn't lock his brakes, and Adam Simpson cleans him up.
Wow.
Big moment.
Now, if we get a safety car out of this will really benefit the guys that were just jumping into the lane as all that unfolded there. So we'll keep an eye on that car.
Oh, Hollis has stationary. Moved.
And Vandel's through. He hasn't come into the lane.
Bastian Vandal, this is going to hurt him. They obviously called the safety car late. He may have just gone past the pit exit entry as they called the safety car. This is going to hurt him big time.
We need to keep an eye on the guys that are in the lane. Now, I did see both Dakota Sim Sports Entry, Jaden Borg, Tony Gaffer in there, so we'll see where they cycle through. But this is going to change it.
Oh, more big news to change the race. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, and Dan Leap, 911 pit lane infringement on lap 12. Drive-through penalty for crossing the solid line into the pit twice. So David Nash will be copping himself another drive-through penalty, and he is going to be kicking himself for it. And Sebastian Vandal is going to be doing the same. Matty Monday didn't make the pit either. So oh, there they go. They dive into the pit lane now. So Vandal, he's got a lot of work to do. This is going to hand the lead to Dave Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. That's Sebastian Vandal's race done and done right there. He drops all the way to the back of the field.
Well,
He's got to find his way through somehow. That's going to be a big drive.
well, it is, and we've been kind of talking about it throughout the entirety of this race. Is how do you play the strategy? And I'm a little surprised at that one. That as Vandal come down through that final corner, you can see the stationary car up against the pit wall there. You've almost got to fire it straight into the lane and serve that penalty. So it's a tricky one, and I know a lot of these guys now obviously waiting for race control to determine when that will be, and it's a tricky spot to be in, and unfortunately sometimes doesn't always favour the leader. But this will be an interesting one now. We've got 21 laps left in the books, some fast charging cars right down the back of the field now. Let's see the fireworks unfold as they work these things back up through the grid.
Well, Vandal finds himself out in 17th position there, Dan. So Matty Monday just behind him. So those guys are going to be the big chargers through the field. They've got a lot of good drivers to go through, though. David Nash, he's out of contention. He's done and dusted. He's through and through. Forget about David Nash. He's a lap down. Safety car goes around for one last lap, though. He will come in this lap. Ron Hollis, that accident has been cleared on the front straight. I think that might have been Lorne Mackey, though, that made connection there with Ron Hollis. I'm not 100% sure. I thought it was Adam Simpson, but I think it may be Lorne Mackey because he's in the pits as well, along with Steve Lanyon. But Steve hasn't been in there that long. Lorne Mackey's only been in there for about a minute. So I think that may have been the driver who's cleaned him up. That was a big moment. As we said, we would expect the safety car to come out. And I just don't think Vandal was committed and had it in his head. You've almost got to have that move in your head or ready to go as you come out of that final corner, Dan, to commit to pit lane. If it's not in your head and you got to go, oh no, pit lane, it's too late. You've almost got to do it almost instantaneously in one clean sweeping move out of that final corner.
Exactly, and just as we saw there with Rod, just getting that wheel on the outside. If you have that little momentary lapse and going, oh god, I've got to get the thing in the lane, it's very easy to pick up a tire on the outside and do an almost repeat incident, flick the car across the track, and there's your night done and dusted. So yeah, it is a little bit of forward planning for the guys to think about where they're coming through, get those stops done. Now I can guarantee you the boys at Fat Fishy would have already been on the boards here going, right, we are looking lap 21 and getting underway here at this point. So if we can do that, we're on it. But yeah, interesting stuff. The other big thing, I think, and we didn't really talk on it too much, the infringement there for David Nash, twice missing the solid yellow line on entry. That's a big one, and that'll send a lot of things. Well, obviously now a lot of these guys have cleared that pit stop. That would have been a big thing to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, definitely. Race control would have been paying close attention once Nash had done it, not once, but twice in a matter of laps. So it's going to be interesting to see how many drivers are going to be copping one of those penalties tonight. I know Lime Rock's not a hard one to do. Lime Rock's very easy to find your pit base. So it may have just been getting the fast lane, the merge lane, and the actual pit lane confused there. The safety car coming in this lap. Just got the message from race control. will go green flag racing this time round. What can Barndale do off the restart? Can he make up some positions? Remember, they can't cross, overtake the driver before they pass the control line, which is the fastest start-finish line. Lap 23 or 42, ladies and gentlemen, would be lap 24 or 42 when we go across, start or restart the race. Jamie Davis catches back up to the pack. Few drivers just fizzled out there. Coleman has control. Pennefather in behind him. Bolford in third. Are we going to have a new podium, ladies and gentlemen? Bolford out of the final corner, holding them up till the last minute. Bolford out of formation. He wants the jump. Coleman really waiting for till the last minute to go. There he goes. Jump. Surprise. Gets the jump on Pennefather. Mulford goes as well, and he's going to attack Pennefather straight away into turn one and get the move done. Fantastic strategy there by Mulford to wait and see what happens. Father's going to try and go around the outside. He can't get it done. Mulford shuts the door. Dawson wants in now on Pennefather. Coleman skipping away while all this is going on. Jamie Davis wants in on Dylan Thomas too. Then you got Borg. Then you got Schooler. Everybody through cleanly.
That was a smart restart there by David Coleman, just to hold that field as long as possible. I was wondering whether we're going to see a jump right in that final corner there, but he played that absolute perfection as he works his way through. Jason Schooler's had a moment. He has plummeted to the back of the field, now down in 23rd position. We didn't see what transpired for him there, but that's another quick car out of contention.
Schooler out of contention tonight. Might have just made a fumble running wide from 1 and 2 off the race start. Dawson now on the back end of Pennefather. Everybody's scrapping for positions. We've got Barndale and Lawrence trying to go through on Martin right now. Barndale around the outside of Martin. Monday's there as well. He's up the inside of Barndale, but he's not going to be able to get it done through turn 4. Barndale has a look up the inside through turn 4 on Martin. Doesn't get it done. Can he get the run though? Into the chicane. Can't get it there. Martin went defensive. Drives back down on the racing line. Through the chicane they go now. Pressured by Barndale. Big look up the inside. That's a bold move on Martin. He doesn't get it done. He's impatient. He wants to get round. He wants to make up the position. He's buried in 15th. He's going to get it done on the main straight, though the side drive starts to play into effect. Barndale down the inside of Martin, down the main straight, into turn 1. Gets the move done, dust and dice and clean.
And
back to the battle between Pennefather and Dawson.
And while that was going on at the same time, Tony Gaffer managed to put one through on Jonathan Benn for 10th position as well. So the guys starting to play around there and move their way up. Justin Pennefather doing a really solid job here, just holding station into 3rd position. As we have a look back a little further, too wide. Jono Benn there, just parking the car on the racing line.
Oh, everybody checks up. Jonathan Payne hits the hot dog, gets the car airborne. Cooper checks up. Then you had Lawrence check up. Barndale gave him a touch for confidence as well. Monday there as well. So it's really backed up. Barndale's going to get a nice little run on the main straight here. Look at the run that Barndale got. He almost cleaned up Cooper on the way through. Look at this scrap. 3 wide into turn 1 almost. Monday up the around the outside of Barndale. This is a great battle going on. It's Dyson down here in the mid-pack. Barndale up the inside of Cooper. They make contact. Barndale runs.
Cooper down, Monday through.
Look at that. Monday gets through as well. How about this, ladies and gentlemen? The RSRA Super 2 E-Series. This is mid-pack. The 15th position and up. This is a cracking scrap. Right now on lap 27 of 42.
Yeah, if we're seeing the racing this good already on a Monday night, what's tomorrow night going to bring for the Super Series? It's going to be phenomenal.
Steve Ballard through they drive through for car contact on the 052 by Lawrence lap 12. So race control setting Steve Ballard to the pit lane for a drive-through penalty on that one. We're on board. I believe that's Dylan Thomas that we're on board with at the moment. He's playing chase at the moment. Bale and Dawson. So first time Thomas up inside the top 5 at the moment. Down one where he started. Barndale putting the pressure on Bain and Lawrence. He wants his way back inside the top 10. He doesn't have far to go. He's on a mission. He's a man on the mission. He's around the inside of Bain. He gets the side draft down the main straight. Heavy under brakes into turn 1. Gets Bain with ease. Bain makes plenty of room. Bain goes down one more position. He's up 4 from where he started though. Currently sitting in 13th. Brian Cooper, the biggest move in the lane. He's up in 15th, up 11 position. Adam Simpson though, up 16 from where he started. He's currently in 9th. So big move for him. Ron Holler's biggest loser in pit lane at the moment. He's out of the race. David Nash a lap down and still circulating after 2 drive-through penalties. Now Vandal on Lawrence.
Yeah, let's have a look at this from the onboard shot with Vandal here. We saw a couple of laps ago, he just slingshot through this final corner. Doesn't quite get the momentum, but he is going to pick up the draft down the main straight. So we might see him throw the nose in, see whether he can pick one up under brakes, but just a little far off at this point in time. But he is using these tyres up. He's now currently sitting in 12th position after coming back from the restart down in 17th. So, you know, using all what he's got there to get himself through. And now he's at the part of the circuit where finding his way through on these guys not going to be the easiest of things. Steph Lawrence doing a nice job, just running that right sim racing entry on the racing line there, picking up his braking markers where he needs to, pushing it through this final run. But Vandal just a fraction better at this point.
Yeah, Vandal, it seemed like he slingshotted through the final corner a couple laps ago, but everybody checked up mid-corner. They were fighting for the position onto the main straight. So that's what made Vandal look like he had a slingshot through. He had a bit of a run on them all, and Vandal came out the other end with that much speed. Nowhere to go, though. He just could not capitalise on it. He could have had 3 cars to cross one on that one, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been an absolute fantastic move tonight, definitely, to go back to the front of the field here. Coleman's checked out over Mulford, but Mulford has got big pressure at the moment. Pennefather has looked up the inside of the chicane. He gets it done. Pennefather on the inside of Mulford. Now Dawson wants up the inside of Mulford. That's bumping, that's rubbing. They're pushing, they're shoving. Oh, contact between Mulford and Thomas now. And Mulford, in the manner of a corner, goes from 2nd to 5th. He wants revenge on Thomas. Thomas plays defensive big time. Now Mulford goes back.
Look who's sniffing in behind there. Jamie Davis and Jaden Borg just holding on to it. Mulford gets it really sideways.
Mulford gets sideways. Davis and Borg go through. And in 3 corners, Mulford is down in 7th position where he started the race. What a fantastic little race going on right now down on the but 32-42, only 10 laps to go. And this won't by the time we get this conversation, this next question or segment done and dusted, it's going to be the end of the race. That's how quick this is going by. I can't believe you blink and 5 laps are gone. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Well, that's it. I mean, we were talking just momentarily on the nose of Vandal's car, watching him go around, and we just got to the end of a sentence. He's completed the next lap again.
Pretty locked up. Oh, Mulford! Mulford getting very argy-bargy. That's Adam Simpson trying to get through. I think Mulford's tyres are done. He's all over the place at the moment. Can't get the car settled back in. Davis starting to put pressure on Thomas. Borg in there as well. Haven't had a repeat of last race. But you were saying, Dan, we finished the sentence talking about Vandal. Looked at the street timing, looked back, and that was a lap done.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think just how fast it's going on at the moment. But I mean, the first 34 laps we've seen so far have been absolutely fantastic to watch. We have a look now at Tony Gaffer trying to send one down the inside, not quite close enough. But he's going to hold off Steph Lawrence there down into one, having a look on the back of Luke Crowhurst. So might be another opportunity for those guys to get through. Tim Mulford still ahead of this little train there, but we know that his tyres are hurting quite substantially at the moment. So we'll wait to see how that goes. Justin Pennyfeather, a little bit further up the field, second position. Alan Dawson all over him. And while these two are scrapping it out, David Coleman has checked out. He's gone 4.5 seconds up the road now.
He's definitely checked out. He's got it signed, sealed, and collected. Just looking through the lap times, these drivers would be silly not to be taking tyres here on this one down. I mean, 10 seconds, 17 seconds, 11 seconds, 13. There's plenty of time to throw tyres into this. So they had the tyres readily available to do it around Lime Rock. You'd be silly not to do it tonight. You see the stats between Coleman and Pennyfather there.
Well, I would agree. And I'm looking at the lap times at the moment. I mean, end of last race, where we didn't take tyres, 21 laps on board, we saw the guys down in the 52s. We've gone out to 42 laps. We're back in the 53s now at this late phase of the race. So, you'd have to think, tyres would have been a given. 8 seconds of fuel, get them done and dusted while you can. But because everyone came in as early as they did, it's now starting to hurt them a little bit further back. If you have a look at Varndell on Gaffer and Lawrence. So Lawrence has managed to get through on Tony Gaffer. Varndell's going to try and put a move on him, and we've got a couple of cars in the lane. That's Tim Mulford.
Yeah, Tim Mulford coming through. He's see what he does. He might come in and just grabs the tyres quickly. He might be coming in for a drive through. Well, he might have copped the black flag. Varndell gets the move on Gaffer done and dusted. And there we go. Race control is contact us. R85 contact on lap 33. So that's contact on Adam Simpson, and obviously that car of 85 is the multiple drive-through penalty. That little bit of a scrap.
That'll put him down in 19th position now. So still points on the table, but a long way down from where he wants to be. This battle for second, though, just starting to ease up momentarily. Pennyfeather's been able to get away a little bit here. And likewise for Dylan Thomas, just behind these two. He's made a bit of a gap now over Jamie Davis and starting to hunt our second and third drivers down.
Yeah, it's starting to really close up the dying moments. Only 5 laps to go, 37 to 42. I swear it was only lap 30, only a couple laps ago. I swear it was lap 30. I swear it was.
Well, we were just saying, we got 10 laps in the books. Here we are, we're at 5 laps left in the books, and it feels like 2 sentences are gone by. But it is flying through here. Varndell, though, still on a great little charge, coming back up. He's inside the top 10 now after making a meal of the safety car, missed the pit stop opportunity. He's in 9th position and all over the back of Stephen Lawrence.
Can he get Lawrence, though? There's 5 to go at the moment. Can he creep up any further? He's got a lot of work to do. Lawrence is only 1.5 seconds away from Adam Simpson, so he's not going to be able to catch Adam Simpson at a flying rate of knots. He's struggling to get past Lawrence at the moment. But Dawson and Pennyfather, these two have not let each other go all race long. This is the best part about Lime Rock. If you're onto someone, you're not letting go, and it really puts on the racing. Look, from 10th position to 15th, ladies and gentlemen, that battle is still going between Gaffer, Monday, Cooper, Bang, Crowhurst, and Hulla Mountain. Coleman, Pennyfather, Dawson, Thomas, Davis, Borg, Simpson, Lawrence, Varndell, and Gaffer get top 10. And Pennyfather and Dawson still duking it out. They're losing sight of Coleman by the millimetre. He's just slowly skipping away in the distance. And clean race bonuses tonight, Dan, is going to be a big one because very easy to get an off-track round.
Well, it is, and I think for anyone who's able to pick it up and keep the car on the tarmac, it's an additional point that you really, really need when you think of how tight the championship is. I know we said, come back first, it's double points on offer, but you need to pick them up where you can. You can't just afford to give up any positions, any point on offer through this one, and if the guys are able to do it, pressing on nicely. This fight, though, is still starting to come back to life again, 4 on the books as we get ready to cross and turn that into 3. But for Dawson here, what's he got to do to get the move done? He has looked every which way and still not quite close enough to do it as Pennefather sticks him back out on the outside through 1.
And he get the move done. The tyres at this stage, a little bit tired. Dawson needs to play it smart. He needs to try the over and under through here. He needs to come back to the outside and try the under move right about now and just throw it up there. Get that nice little run on Pennefather. What does Pennefather do then? He's going to be just park it right on the outside. There's not enough room to get the move done unless you've got a fantastic run out of 4. They're bumper to bumper again. Dawson's got the pace on Pennefather. We know that. But Dawson doesn't have the door to do it. Pennefather is making that Ford Mustang as wide as anything right now. It's Ford versus Ford. Holden at the top at the moment. Coleman with 2 to go. Dylan Thomas is now invited into the battle. Dawson made some form of mistake on the exit. Thomas is going to have a look up the inside. Doesn't get the move done.
Gets the door shut on him pretty hard by Alan Dawson there.
Ryan Lawrence climbing his way through again. He's now through on Adam Simpson. Barndale needs to get there as well. So these 2 drivers are closing the doors on everybody. They're making their way up. Coleman, not long now before he takes the white flag. 40 laps in the books. Throwing across to take the white flag. Dave Coleman starts the final lap. As we are on board there with Barndale and Lawrence and Adam Simpson in the middle of them. But Coleman, he's driven a superb race. He had the pressure applied to Nash. They tried to go after Barndale. Nash made the mistake in the pit lane. Got himself a penalty. Coleman set out after Barndale again and then got the good graces of the pit lane, or the safety car, should I say, with a big accident out the front of pit lane there. And Barndale just missing the pit lane entry. That pretty much sealed the deal for Coleman then and there. He's been able to check out from the moment he took the green flag on the restart. He's out to 5.7 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for Dave Coleman, your race 2 winner, as he comes across the line to take the checkered flag.
Great win there for Coleman, and looks like we'll see Pennefather Pennefather hold on to second ahead of Dawson as well. The rest of the guys down through the field, we saw some cracking racing to get that home. As have a look here at our race winner, Dave Coleman, just bringing home the Fisher Motorsport. What's he going to do for the burnout comp now? We need to see something spectacular.
There's got to be something. Does he go to the end where there's a lot of room? Does he try and play it tight on the main straight? I think I know where I'd do it. I'll play it safe. I mean, we've got the Spirit of Tasmania of Chris Gisby down in Tasmania, ladies and gentlemen, who does our voting for us on the burnouts. He's the expert of it, and we know he likes to gauge whatever all our winners' burnouts are. He was one to know how Rudd would go. He'd always touch the grass, but we haven't been accumulated to see David Coleman do one, so got to cross the control line first to make sure that he's technically back in pit lane to quit the cool down lap. But Dave Coleman, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, about to light them up down the main straight. Crank up the volume for this one. Very, very big tip in down the main straight. Almost cleans up the pit exit wall. He's going full send mode. Tips it in again and almost puts it in the wall. Turns the car off, and that's going to be it for him, I think. Oh, he's going to keep going. He's going to enjoy this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get some unofficial results up on your screen as we wait for drivers come into the commentary booth for their final interviews and find out who the round winner is going to be, with a big power skid to finish off for Dave Coleman, your race 2 winner. Justin Father in P2, Alan Dawson P3, Dylan Thomas P4, Jamie Davis, your top 5. Borg, Lawrence, Simpson, Barndale, after a spectacular drive back from the Ruby Field after that pit stop, and Brian Cooper round out your top 10. Ford dominating the top 10 standings tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Holden dominating the top 20 now with Gaffer Monday, Palamount, Bain, Crowhurst, Kelly, Martin, Mulford, Schooler, Johnson. We'll let the rest of those float on through for you, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring to you our podium for tonight. Dan, your thoughts on the race before we move on forward?
Mate, I thought it was fantastic. It was really good from everyone out there. We saw some good strategy play come into it, some interesting restart options on getting that one underway, and we saw some great fight backs through the back of the field, especially for Sebastian Varndell there, getting himself back inside the top 10 after restarting down in 17th. So racecraft are plenty really on show for the guys tonight. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they are able to do when we see the Super Series take the grid tomorrow night.
That's going to be an interesting one. You might be calling this tomorrow night's race, Dan, if you do have the night for it. If the throat tickles continue the way they're going. I mean, with the action tonight, I'm definitely going to be needing a night off, because that was been absolutely intense. I've tried to scream down the mic, ladies and gentlemen, with enthusiasm and excitement, but hasn't quite got there. It hasn't been able to elevate to the levels that you used to, Zach Caven and myself here across the airways. So this is not exactly there, but we've got David Coleman, Justin Pennefather that have joined us, just waiting on Alan Dawson to come up in, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll start off with the race winner of David Coleman, ladies and gentlemen, in the 640 from Fishy Motorsports. Mate, big congratulations on race 2. And sort of bit of almost a gift once that safety car rolled on into you when Barndale just completely drove past the pit entry lane there.
Yeah. The funny thing was he faked the pit entry and I committed. So like I was going to pit, but I was going to pretty much mirror him. So I should thank him for that fake, because it made me commit and got in nice and clean. And I was a bit surprised, to be honest. It was Q stayed out. And, yeah, it was obviously it's not the right strategy. You lose too much time if you pit under green flag. So
yeah, it was a very smooth strategy by everybody. It was sort of everybody's good graces, wasn't it? It kept everyone out of lap traffic. That was the main thing.
yeah, pretty much. There wasn't really any lap traffic this race, which was a surprise, because obviously the lap traffic probably did play a bit more effect in the first race, keeping us all so close. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm a bit surprised, to be honest, because I didn't have the overall pace that I wanted. So.
You speak of overall pace there. Does that come down to the tyres of the race? I mean, we knew that guys had the time there to take tyres, and an 8-second stop for fuel, that's enough to take a set of 4 tyres, which should be able to give you that great run to the end. Was the thought of that there?
Oh, well, silly me said I was going to do the undercut on fuel, but yeah, like obviously tyres covered fuel. I can only put 12 litres in, and I think you need about 16, or any more than 16 is longer than tyres. So I kind of removed the strategy, but pitting early put you in too much traffic. So the plan was originally to stay out probably about lap 30 odd and come home strong, but yeah, the safety car kind of evened the field out a bit.
Good stuff, mate. Well, what's round points are up on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Well, unofficial race results, sorry, up on your screen there for points. Oh, that's unofficial round points up on your screen there. So Dave Coleman, ladies and gentlemen, is your not only race 2 winner, but your round winner as well. Justin Pennefather, who not only is your race 2 second place, is also the round. The round is second for the round, and Dylan Thomas will join us very, very shortly to collect his third for the round tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But Dave, hang around, mate. We'll get back to you for some sponsors along the way, and we'll head over to Justin Pennefather, mate. Big congratulations to you. Welcome back to the commentary booth for the Super2 E-Series. It's been some time between drinks for us.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. Definitely didn't think it was going to happen tonight after qualifying, but worked out well in the end. It's good to be back.
Mate, game plan for your races. I mean, Lime Rock's such a tight track. Very, very hard to overtake. And then if you can get the overtaking started, you've got yourself a battle for 3-4 corners.
Yeah, plan tonight was just to try and keep it clean and have just a consistent round, just because the first few have been pretty shocking. So just try and get some confidence back. So yeah, and with the overtakes, yeah, it's really hard, but I was fortunate to be pretty quick in the brakes down into the chicane there, so which helped me in that second race.
Mate, you had Alan Dawson breathing down your neck, not just from towards the end there, but pretty much from the get-go. Dawson was there breathing down your neck, especially after the restart. He just would not let you go. Wherever you wanted to go, wherever he wanted to go, you went. Wherever you went, or wherever he wanted to go, you know, it concertinaed itself, and it just supplied a fantastic battle on the screen. How's the pressure in the cabin there, knowing that any moment he could have just thrown it up the inside and gone for the kamikaze move?
Yeah, I sort of was just trying to keep my eyes forward, having a bit of look behind me, but I thought he had me with a few to go at that second last corner, but somehow managed to hang on around the outside. And then yeah, there was those couple of other points where I had to defend pretty hard, but then when I could get my concentration back and put a nice lap in, it sort of calmed down again for another couple of laps, which was handy.
Well, mate, big congratulations on the second place in race 2 and for the round overall. Stick around, we'll get some sponsors from you as we move on to Big Alan Dawson, who's finished up in P3 tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the second race, mate. Congratulations to you. It's good to have you back up in the booth and representing the right boys.
Definitely a good race there. The safety car kind of didn't fall my way at the end, but I pitted the lap just before the safety car come out, so I thought it was going to pull right on back, but I didn't somehow.
Got kind of lucky with that one. I mean, we saw not much damage done to Rod Hole sitting there on the main straight. A lot of damage was done to Lorne Mackey. We thought he'd be the one that was out, but obviously Hollis was the one that suffered the motor. What were your thoughts? You obviously, I don't think you would have seen it in the position that you were in at the time, but was there any key to you to pit or any signs to pit you maybe a lap later possibly?
Well, pretty much my car dropped when I heard safety car called. That's yeah, didn't really get an option.
Oh, that is rough there, Dan Lee. I think that's probably one of the roughest things that could possibly happen in racing.
Yes, I was very surprised to be here.
Yeah, not what you want, especially around this sort of circuit as we saw the guys pull back. But mate, great drive to get the thing up into the top three.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Well, mate, tyres for you, obviously, we look at, well, I can't really talk about your pit time because they've reset themselves to what you were before you exited the server, but I think yours was around the 10-second mark. Was there tyres included somewhere in that, or the thought of possibly maybe just putting on the left side of the left side tyres?
Nah, I definitely took all tyres, mate. Definitely took all tyres. Track was hot, and I couldn't hold it on to the outside around Justin at turn 1. So just understeered, we almost went off.
Yeah, it's very tricky around that 1 and 2. You've really got to have the big kahunas, as they like to call it, if you can hold it. And we saw it all night long. Drivers going around the outside of 1 and 2 to have the inside of 3, but no one could get it done through 3 to try and run the outside through 4. Just it simply wasn't there. And we all know with only technically one left-hander for a right-hand dominant track, it's not going to happen going through a left-hander, is it? But mate, big congratulations to you. Any sponsors you'd like to thank before we move on?
Yeah, no, too. Bliss Homes, Capital Custom Works, FU Suicide, and of course, No Social Hate.
Justin Pennerfather, any sponsors for you, mate?
Yeah, we'll start with FU Suicide and No Social Hate. Big thanks to them. Simshed Broadcasting, Concut, Inside Lane Productions, Devon Stove Designs, and Nathan Clive Motorsports. Thanks to all those guys. Thanks.
Dave Coleman, mate. Some sponsors for you before we go on to the third place for the round of Dylan Thomas.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I can give a shout out. Just want to dedicate this race to a fellow team member of ours who passed away in February. This is for Bora. He'll always be a champion in the team's heart, so this is for him. Just want to thank DC Shades, West End Motor Group, Precision Sim Training, Black Wolf Graphics, and Relax Marina Game Fishing.
Good stuff, mate. Well said. And hey, rest in peace. And you've definitely done him proud, that's for sure, tonight by taking out the race win. And also the round win whilst at that one as well. So fantastic work, mate. Dylan Thomas, our third place winner for tonight's round. Big congratulations to you and welcome to the commentary booth.
Thank you. A bit surprising, to be honest.
Mate, first time having you are here, I think, in the booth from memory.
Yeah, my first time in any race, any broadcast booth since I started. So,
well, mate, give us a quick rundown of yourself. How long you been sim racing for, and what team you're a part
of? So I started last July, and started off doing a little bit of GT stuff. I ran the 24-hour Spa with Fishy Motorsport on my 10th day on iRacing. And then, my team went from 21st to 7th for the race. So they offered me a spot and I've been here ever since.
Good stuff, mate. Look, Lime Rock Park, difficult track altogether, but I mean, 42 laps would have felt like it was an absolute breeze. It sounds long, but it was blistering quick.
Yeah, especially with the safety car, it pretty much just broke into 2 sprint races again, sort of like the first one. Yeah. But it was definitely, it was a hard track to get your head around starting off the week after Long Beach, because it's so different.
Yeah, it's gone. You've almost gone from a concrete canyon to almost an open field of daisies almost, where you've got some runoff area, but that grass is incredibly slick. The suction out of on the outside of 1 and 2 obviously caught a lot of people out. But you've been fighting all race long there. You weren't far off the boys in front. You had Jamie Davis and Borgie closing down on you. Did you start to feel the pressure there?
Yeah, after that restart, there was a lot of pressure. My crew chief overfueled me in the pit stop, so I lost a couple of spots. And I was running with an extra 30 litres of fuel than what I needed. So I was, it was a bit of panic stations for the first few laps when we got going again. But yeah, just tried to keep it straight, hit my apexes, and see where I end up, basically.
30 litres of fuel, that's definitely not where you want to be, mate. Look, any sponsors you've got on the car that you'd like to thank?
We've got West End Motor Group, which covers Parramatta Mazda, Parramatta City Great Wall Haval, Peugeot Professional, and Isuzu Ute, I believe. Precision Sim Training, who have helped me quite a lot with my driving. DC Shades, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, and Black Wolf Graphics.
Good stuff. Well, big congratulations on your round 3 win, mate. You've got to be pretty chuffed with that, and all the best in the future races.
Yeah, I'm stoked, mate. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Thomas and the podium. Obviously, we can't do this either without our sponsors either, Dan, and that's RSRA, FU Suicide, SimShed Broadcasting, Goodyear Auto Care, Rana, Track Cams 4 Gourmet, SDK Gaming, Overpass Visuals, and also Simming. That we can't do it without those guys who bring you week in, week out broadcasts on Monday and Tuesday night for your motorsport championship points, ladies and gentlemen. The unofficial ones coming up for you on your screen. Let's find out. And Dave Coleman starting to stretch that lead out more and more. David Nash, an unfortunate loser tonight with those 2 drive-through penalties, allowed Coleman to skip away, and that might just be the icing on the cake. Dawson in 3rd, Palamountain in 4th, Jamie Davis in 5th, Jason Schooler in 7th, 6th position there, Gaffer in 7th, Monday in 8th, Lee Crowhurst and Stephen Martin rounding out your top 10 there, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll let those scroll on through. Dan, moving on to next week, that's a big race that we're going to be looking forward to. The eve of Anzac Day, the Anzac Day eve, or Anzac Day race, actually, it's on the actual day itself.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's big in the sense that it's Australia's Anzac Day, and will be a very heartfelt one from all the guys in there. And we've seen some phenomenal liveries. So a couple of rounds back, JP put the request out to get some guys in and see what they can do as far as an Anzac tribute livery. We've already seen a few of those so far have made their way out. We know there's plenty more still to come, but we go from one of the shortest tracks in the calendar at Lime Rock to probably one of the biggest circuits in the calendar at Road America next week, and it's 40 lap sprint round, and we're going to have a phenomenal grid of cars in the Anzac tribute liveries going around. So really looking forward to seeing how that one goes. I'm hopeful to be back on the grid for that, so forward to maybe me making a mozza of things like I normally do, but no, it will be good.
Road Atlanta, it's actually Road Atlanta, not Road America.
Well,
So
Atlanta, there you go.
yeah, so we both got confused on that one. Road America is just before Bathurst at the end of our season. So
Okay.
we do have Road America on the list, but that's down the back there. But Road Atlanta 40 lap sprint. That's what I'm thinking. You're saying 40 laps around Road America. Geez, that's going to be a blimey long race.
And you see, and that's why I'm a driver, because I'm terrible at getting the numbers right.
Hey, I think everybody's terrible at the numbers, that's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we head off to Road Atlanta next week, then off to Imla, Oran Park, Donington, Autodrome, Carlos Pace, Road America, and then we're going to be finishing up Bathurst. Don't forget that when you see Imla, we will be going live a little bit earlier due to the 51 lap endurance race that's going to be held around there. That's a favorite for quite a lot of people, so I'm really looking forward to that. But the one I'm looking forward to is the Monday, the 25th of April, Anzac Day. Next Monday, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a very heartfelt day, very heartfelt race, and they're going to be doing it for the Anzacs on Monday night. So we look forward to what's coming up for the rest of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night, Zach Caban and quite possibly Daniel Leet, maybe myself, if I can get this throat feeling a little better, will lead away for the Goodyear Auto Care Warana Super Series tomorrow night, going live from 8, I believe about 8:15 tomorrow night. So make sure you've got the phones or the Facebook handy around that time and you've got yourself a cold beer, because that's going to be an absolute cracking race with the fastest drivers in this series going head to head around Lime Rock Park. Then Saturday night, we're off to do a bit of stock car racing for the Custom Paints and Diecast Australian Stock Car Championship on Saturday night around where? Sorry, JP? Talladega. That's going to be an absolute cracking race around there. So make sure you tune in. And then obviously, as I said just before, make sure you come join us Monday night for the biggest heartfelt race of the year, ladies and gentlemen, for the Real Sim Racing Australia Super2 E-Series on Monday night. What fantastic racing we have had tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you all the action with Dan Leet alongside me. Mate, any words you'd like to say? Get off the bat before we go. It's 18 past 10 at the moment. We'll try and have an early one.
Yeah, look, no, nothing really that hasn't already been said throughout the course of the broadcast. It was fantastic racing in both races tonight, presented by the guys, and really looking forward to next week, 25th, after the Anzac Day race.
None of this is possible without all our drivers and everybody that goes on behind the screen, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? It's not possible without all you guys out there tuning in and giving us the motivation to keep on going. Thank you very much for joining in wherever you are joining in from all around the world on the platforms of Tim Shed Broadcasting. My name is Matt Davis, joined alongside me by my good friend Dan Leet over there, and we wish you all the best for the rest of this evening, and we will see you tomorrow night, the RSRA Super Series. The Goodyear Auto Care Runner Super Series. My apologies. For now, ladies and gentlemen, take care and good night.